Matt Raczynski and Chris Kroger sat down with head coach James Borrego to discuss the insane play of point guard Kemba Walker and the complementary roles of Jeremy Lamb and Dwayne Bacon. They even touched a little bit on Thanksgiving traditions. This is the Hornets.com Coaches Show.
Welcome to the Hornets.com Coaches Show. I'm Matt Raczynski, joined by Chris Kroger. Chris, good to see you again. It's impossible not to be excited right now. The way things are going, There's one guy who's got everybody's talking about, Kemba Walker.
Well, as we go into Wednesday night, the leading scorer in the NBA in points per game, nearly 30. Once again, he was over that benchmark for really the first 3 weeks of the season. He was over 30 points per game. And now he's also eclipsed Steph Curry as the leader in three-point field goals made as well. And, 103 points in 2 games, not too shabby for the captain.
I mean, we all knew how good this guy was, but did we really think he was this good?
Yes and no. So what's interesting was I remember going over throughout the summer, a lot of people would say, well, what are we going to see from James Borrego? What are we going to see from this Hornets team? What's it going to look like? Because there was a lot of talk about space and pace, getting more shots up, taking the ball out of Kemba's hands to free him up and allow him to take more shots and better shots. And I really was so confident that when you just started with that general, and that's a broad picture, right? As a coach, if you thought that's the game plan for Kemba Walker, I really felt like we're going to see the best version of Kemba we've ever seen. And that's saying something off 2 All-Star appearances in a row. I really thought like 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists per game were entirely feasible for Kemba. Well, now he's actually averaging almost 30. He's averaging about 4.5 rebounds a game and over 6 assists. And he's doing it on a ridiculous volume and incredible efficiency. He's the leading scorer in the fourth quarter in the NBA this season as well. He had 21 of those against Boston to finish it out. So, I am surprised to this level, but I really did think we were going to see Kemba unleashed. And as it stands right now, he's one of the 5 best players in the NBA through the opening month.
A lot of times if you let loose the reins and let this guy go, he might just become a scorer, become that guy who's got the ball in his hand all the time. But those things you brought up, the assists, the rebounds, what does that speak to about his game, that he's still getting others involved even when he's dominating?
Well, I think it speaks to the fact he's an 8th-year player in the NBA. So he is comfortable. He's never forcing the action, right? The game comes to him. He dictates pace. And that's the other element. It's not just Russell Westbrook, who's a talented player, by the way, but Russell Westbrook really has one speed. It's all out. You watch Kemba, there's a start and stop motion to his game. He can play in 2nd or 3rd gear. He can then kick it into 4th, 5th, 6th gear as well. And the way he can do it on a dime, his explosiveness, doing it at 6'1". You think about his 60-point night Saturday, he's just the 2nd player in NBA history to score 60 points at 6'1" or shorter. The other is arguably the greatest scoring little man in NBA history, Allen Iverson. Kemba looks like AI right now. I mean, you really squint your eyes. And then this is the other element I'll throw in. He's doing it on the defensive end. Is Kemba the best defensive player in the NBA? No, he's not, and he'd admit that himself. But you're starting to see a comfort level with this switching style defense. He's matched up on bigger covers a lot. He's stealing the basketball. He's anticipating where the ball's going to go. He's become a really good help defender as well. So you see him being really aggressive. You see him attacking on offense. I see the same mentality on defense, too. So he's doing it on both ends of the court.
I was having a conversation with Jay Starling, our producer, the other day, and I told him in my 14 years here, this 2-game run, just watching what Kemba did to score those 103 points, has been the most entertaining, the most excited I've been watching this team, with the exception of games 5 and 6 against Miami. Don't want to talk about game 6 too much, but it's up there at that level, and the crowd and what we've been. For you, as a broadcaster, what's it like to call this game? I mean, are you just having the time of your life when you're up there calling this game?
I am, and I Saturday night, even in a loss, when Kemba got to 56, which set the new franchise record at that time, he pushed it forward 4 more points after that. I literally put my hands on my head and just started shaking my head. I looked to my broadcast partner, Matt Carroll, and what do you say? Right. Because it's almost an out-of-body experience watching this guy do what he's doing right now. This reminds me stylistically of the Hornets hardball era of Glenn Rice and Anthony Mason and Del Curry and Vlade Divac. Those teams were explosive offensively, and Glenn was really the head of the snake on that. And you go back now, Glenn was the last guy to have 40-plus in 2 consecutive games for the Hornets. That was 21 years ago now. And his combined point total, which was at that time the most in 2 consecutive games in Hornets history, is now 20 less than what Kemba's done. So, Glenn, God bless him, he was in attendance Saturday night, a member of our 10-year anniversary squad. He actually posted on his Instagram on Saturday night, he said, Kemba, it was a pleasure. You are incredible. And can you think about that? Could you imagine being Glenn Rice and watching Kemba do what he's done? And now Kemba has surpassed basically every major scoring record that Glenn Rice has put together from a total single game standpoint. That's where Glenn's mark is in our team's history. Right. Single game efforts, and now Kemba's basically wiped him from the ledger as well, alongside Del Curry.
He just keeps passing guys. Well, that's been our take on what we've seen from Kemba Walker. When we come back, we're going to get Coach's take on the Hornets.com Coaches Show.
We were at the game, and we heard how the announcer pumps everybody up. And we said, let's try it at the office and see what happens.
Oh, recycle!
Looks great.
Thank you.
Collaboration! Email sent!
I think it's working.
That's taking charge.
Welcome back to the Hornets.com Coaches Show. We're being joined now by head coach James Borrego. Let's see, what can we talk about, Coach? I guess maybe Kemba Walker is a good place to start. Kemba's been absolutely insane so far. Can you just talk about what you've seen over the course of the last 2 games from him?
Well, it really goes back to, when I got here, just watching this guy's work ethic. It really starts there, because I think everyone's looking at his efficiency right now and his numbers and all that, but it really goes back to those moments when nobody's watching. He's in that gym working. One of the best workers I've ever been around. Just puts in his time, on the court, in drills, goes 100% every single time in practice. It's really set him up for this moment, and here he is playing at such a high level, special just to watch. I'm just trying to get out of the way. I'm just trying not to screw it up, and he's just been special. Just what he's doing off the bounce, with and without the ball, making tough shots at the rim, getting to the free throw line, still passing the ball, career high in assists still, career high in rebounds, career high in points, efficiency, usage. You can go down the list. This guy's playing at an elite level. I mean, not just for our team, but elite in the NBA, and doing it night after night after night. So give him a ton of credit. He's been special. I'm just blessed to be his coach. I'm hoping just to not screw it up anymore. So.
Well, and then you mix in the degree of difficulty from the fact of you go back to Philadelphia on Saturday night, even in the loss, doing it against Jimmy Butler, who was defending him all night long. Jimmy's probably, one of the 5 best two-way players in the NBA. Embiid as a rim protector, and those guys couldn't stay in front of him. To do it against the #1 defense, too, against Boston. So you want to up the degree of difficulty, the opponents and the matchups over the last 2 games, too. It adds another level to it.
Yeah, no question. I mean, he's doing it against top level, and the scouting report every night's Kemba Walker. They're all, every team that's looking at our group is saying, we got to take out, Kemba Walker, and he's doing it no matter the attention, who's on him. But what was special last night was 21 points in the 4th quarter. It's not like this guy's coming out, just doing it in the first quarter, first half. He's doing it in the clutch time situations. He did it in Philly as well against that Philly group. So this is a winner. This is a special player right now, and I think we'll continue to see him grow and develop. I think he's only going to get better from here. Defenses will get better. They're going to try to do some things, but it's on us as a group, as a staff, as a team, as players to maximize what he's doing right now. Give him space, knock down shots around him, continue to be threats out there as they put more bodies around him. And that's our job to do, and we're trying to work through that.
For you as a coach, when you see this guy playing at this level and going off the way he has been going off, do you find yourself at moments just kind of watching, going, wow, this is amazing what I'm watching right now, and then get back into coaching mode?
Yeah, I think you get caught up in the game, so it's hard to, I think when I watch the film, I'm really more amazed when I go back the next morning to watch the film, watching him do this, over and over. In the heat of battle, it's hard because you're moving on to the next possession. You're just trying to get a stop. He makes a shot. Now you got to go back and get a stop, or I'm thinking about what the next play is to call. So, even in the Philly game, I didn't realize he had 60 points. I knew he had a lot, but, in the heat of battle, I don't really, recognize he's at that level yet. So, but some of those plays are just amazing. The big shots, the ability to get to the rim and finish against that length. until you actually do it and you're out there watching someone like this finish against these big guys, you really have no idea how tough it is. This guy that's tough to do. He had Tatum last night and Horford converging on him, and he still finds a way to get the ball to the rim. So, but these are things he's been practicing. I mean, this isn't just accident that this is happening. This is his time that he's put in.
Well, and the other interesting part of it, as you said, he had 21 in the fourth against Boston, 7 of 10 shooting, 4 of 6 from deep. He leads the NBA in fourth quarter scoring and points per game from that standpoint. He's known as Cardiac Kemba. It started with 11 straight wins to win a national championship. First guy to ever get 5 games in 5 days of the Big East tournament when he was in college. So, I mean, this has been his career. But, some people believe in something called the clutch gene, that a guy can up his level of play, can summon something pretty special in crunch time. It seems like you seem to believe Kemba's got that kind of ability to him, and I think his track record speaks for itself.
Yeah, not a lot of players want that ball in a game. I mean, these guys are hard to find. It's not an easy situation, a pressure situation, to put that on your shoulders and be willing to take those big shots in the biggest moments. Speaks to the elite type of player he is. So I believe in him. We trust him, but he trusts his teammates as well. He's still making the right play. I mean, he kicked it for a number of open shots the last 2 games. He trusts his teammates to make the right play, the right shot. He'll continue to do that. If it takes him scoring in the fourth, well, I think he'll continue to do that if that's what we need. But as a group, we all got to get better in the fourth quarter. I think we're doing that. We're growing right now. I feel much better in our execution down the stretch. The shots we're getting, I think, are right there. But having a player you can hand it to and say, go deliver for us and create a shot, that's a pretty special thing to have.
Kemba's been delivering and getting the attention, and rightfully so. But there's some other guys who've been stepping up as of late. Jeremy Lamb, especially over the course of the last 2 games. What have you seen from him and how he's starting to get some consistency in his game?
Well, I think it's confidence right now. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He's really attacking the rim more than probably he's ever attacked that I remember. I mean, he's putting his nose down, driving it, getting to the paint. Got a big and one against Philly. He had a big shot last night. Even last night I wanted to bring him back there in the fourth. That group was rolling, but he really helped us stay in that game, especially in that third quarter, I believe. Made some big shots. We were dry a little bit there. We were not getting good looks, and Lamb was the guy that stepped up and made some big plays, to keep us in that game. So I think it's just a confidence deal right now. He feels good. His shot looks good. And I think he's getting much more comfortable in that starting role. I think he feels like I belong now.
One of the other guys, too, that because of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist's injury, he's been put back into the rotation. It's offered him an opportunity, is Dwayne Bacon, and he's made the most of it. Had 29 minutes against Philadelphia. That was a season high. Locked some big minutes again last night. And he just looks comfortable, Coach. It looks like when he gets in there, he understands what the framework of the team is supposed to be doing, and he just sort of slides in there, and he's done his job so far.
He's doing his job. I mean, he's attacking the paint, getting to the rim, creating offense for us by getting downhill. He's one of those attack guys. I think we got a young core between he and Miles that can really put their head, in the paint, get to the rim, and create for us. And he's doing that offensively. And this is a physical defender. This is a guy with size that can move his feet, takes pride in his defense. I want to continue to see him grow and do it more consistently. That's his challenge now, to do it play after play, game after game. And here's an opportunity for him, and he's got to maximize this opportunity, and so far he has.
We like to cover things on and off the court here on this Coach's Show.
Right.
So let's kind of switch lanes a little bit. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Other than Kemba Walker, what are you most thankful for?
Well, my family. I mean, that's where it starts for me is my family, and just having 3 wonderful kids, a great wife, mom, sister, people that love you, support you. There's nothing sweeter than that. So I'm going to enjoy them. I'm thankful for them. Their support, their love. They put up with Daddy, this crazy profession and job, and moving cities and changing teams. But they're the joy of my life, and that they make it go for me. So we're going to eat a lot of good old turkey and good sides. I'm a big side guy.
Me too. Yeah. What's your go-to side when it's on the table? You say, all right,
with the turkey,
gotta be there.
The mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And the turkey is just, that's got to be there.
Gravy or no gravy?
No gravy.
No
I'm
gravy.
going to give you one though. Okay, coming from New Mexico, red chili.
Ooh, okay.
Red chili.
Really?
Red chili, and it was on the mashed potatoes, or it's at least in the mix. It's at least on the plate. So that's a little bit different. I know it's not the cranberry sauce.
Well, this is the other thing
It's
I feel like
red
too.
chili for us.
If you have cranberry sauce, you're in one of two camps when it comes to Thanksgiving. You either go canned, like Ocean Spray cranberry sauce, or you say, no, it's got to be homemade. Personally, we always had canned cranberry sauce. You just plop that thing right on a plate and you just eat it. It looks like gelatin. So I don't know how you feel about that.
Not a cranberry guy.
Okay. All right.
But sweet potatoes.
Yes, yeah.
Sweet potatoes. I mean, that's another.
We're stuffing guys. We're big stuffing guys.
I'm with
here.
you, stuffing.
Stuffing. And I'm a stovetop guy. I'm not make your own. I'm out of the box, man. I can make it. I'll eat the heck out of that stuff.
Mama Kroger makes some really good homemade stuffing, bakes it right inside the turkey when it's in the oven cooking. Perfect.
What about the turkey? I mean, what kind? I
work very traditional. Oven, very traditional.
Yeah.
So I need one year we have to do a deep fried turkey. That's my goal, but I don't know when that's going to be.
I've got an oilless deep fryer. I'm recommending it. Anybody who can get one of those.
Is that possible? It sounds like an
Can't light my house
oxymoron.
on
That doesn't
fire.
sound
Yeah,
right.
it doesn't
No,
sound
it works.
feasible.
It's like got a metal coil around it that cooks it just like the oil would.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing.
I do know a guy though.
Send me a
No
picture.
fire.
I'd like to see a
All right,
picture
all
of
right,
that.
I'll
Okay.
get you a picture.
I do know a guy who claims to have the best deep fried turkeys in Charlotte, so I'll hook you up one of these days.
Would love to try it.
We'll put you to the test.
For you, Thanksgiving, growing up, you've mentioned your mom many times, growing up in a single parent household. Did you help a lot more over the course of Thanksgiving as you were growing up, getting things prepared, or did mom do most of the work
Mom
and
did
you
most.
just got to smell it?
I got to smell it. I played football. I remember going out. I think Thanksgiving was at football day, outdoors. Go and some years it was snowing.
Yep.
Yeah, and get outside with a few friends and play football, and then turn on the football game and then eat. Take a nap and maybe eat again. You guys remember that?
Yep.
The second one was always a sandwich. So I remember having a turkey sandwich in
Late
the
night.
evening.
Yes.
That was kind of the breakup between the two meals. So I didn't do a whole lot. I just ate the food, played. Mom did it. Grandma did a lot of that too. So, but my wife, she makes a great Thanksgiving spread, so looking forward to that.
All right, well, we hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. It's nice that things have worked out. All of us are at home, have a chance to spend time with our family.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to
Happy
you,
Thanksgiving.
Coach. We'll be back more on the Hornets.com Coaches Show.
Hey, Hugo, before we do this job swap, can you show me how this half-court shot thing goes? I'm not the most experienced with basketball. Yeah? Okay, great. Okay. All right, so I bend my knees. Oh, arms up. Oh, I'm glad I didn't ask you to show me how to dunk. How do I get down?
Welcome back to the Hornets.com Coaches Show, joining again by Chris Kroger. Chris, the question now is, what's Kevin going to do next? So we're looking ahead. Let's look ahead a little bit. We've got Wednesday, tomorrow night, taking on the Indiana Pacers. What a brutal stretch of games, by the way, when you talk about homestand, to play Philly, Boston, Indiana. These are three of the best teams in the East.
Big homestand, we knew that coming in, right? And that's, I think, a little bit why the loss in Cleveland leading into this homestand, wrapping up the road trip, stings a little bit, no pun intended, because you feel like maybe you lost an opportunity to pad a win. Either way, here's an opportunity to get one back and really make a statement to the East of, guys, we can compete with any of you. You look at the Hornets, 5 losses out of 8. 5 of those have been by a combined 13 points. So the Hornets have been in a lot of tight games. Obviously, that's the bugaboo, but they've competed with a lot of the top-tier teams in the NBA, especially in the East. So big stretch to close this out. It's a Buzz City night again, so we'll see those Buzz City uniforms. And I always love this Wednesday night. It's the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. Friends, family come to town. We always have a huge crowd at these games. And Victor Oladipo, we'll see if he's ready to go or not. He's been out with a knee injury, left a game 2 games ago where it started, didn't play against Utah. Indiana didn't miss him because they won by nearly 20 points over the the Jazz, and they got banner efforts up and down the roster. So they're a different team. They like to play slow. They don't take a ton of threes, but what they take, they make at a pretty high rate. So this would be a bit of a change of pace for the Hornets to see, all right, can you adjust on the fly now to a team that's really playing opposite almost every team in the NBA? You really look at Indiana and Memphis in the East and in the West. There are two teams that are saying, all right, you guys can go run, you can play with pace, you can get up a lot of threes. We know what we do well, we're just going to stick to it. And they've done a good job. Both of those teams are top 3 in their conferences right now. They're early season surprises.
How difficult is that for a team like the Hornets, who's finally gelling offensively, really found its rhythm, when you run up a team that's going to say, let's slow this all down?
Well, it means you've got to run your sets, I think, offensively. So, JB said going into the Boston game that #1 defense in the NBA, right? Well, the Hornets scored 117 on them. How'd they do it? Well, they got stops, and they denied Boston the three-point shots they want in transition. So Boston shot well, but it's because they shot from 2. The Hornets were going to live with that. I think with Indiana, you got to have that same sort of mentality of, you know what, we're gonna keep you away from the basket. We know you guys want to kind of grind this out, but on offense, we've got to be really, really methodical, run our sets, and know if we do it, we're going to score. And you just got to trust the game plan. They did it on Monday night. If they match the physicality of Indiana again on Wednesday, I like the chances.
Something else I want to see match is the crowd's intensity that we've seen over the course of the last 2 games. You mentioned how there's going to be a lot of families in town. This should be a sold-out game Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Going to be a great atmosphere. Need to see that crowd get behind it.
And I should say tickets are still available, right? So 704 Hornets, Hornets.com. But yeah, it's going to be a hot ticket. It's going to be a great night. And I also have to say, I don't think it is unrelated that we have played so well at home over the last 2 games, 1 win and 1 loss, but also the crowd's been into it. Our announcer, Big Pat's back.
Yes,
how great is it to have Big Pat back at the Hive? So I think that's a little bit tied in as well. But come check it out. Come see the Buzz City uniforms. And yeah, this team, they're 5-3 at home. They're 3-5 on the road. The road record, not terrible.
Right.
And we're going to be a lot more on the road once you get into January, February, and March. But the benchmark for quality teams in the NBA, you're talking top 4, top 6 teams in your conference, are teams that are going to win about 65, 66% of their home games. Can you go about 500 on the road? And if you do that, that's the path to 48 or 50 wins. So the Hornets are on the track right now. They got the trains on the track to being a good home team. That's how you get to be a top 4 seed in the East. This team believes they can do that. Then you got to go handle your business on the road too.
Yeah, we know this team's loving playing at home and has plenty of opportunities for our fans to come out and see them over the course of the next week or 2. They're going to be at home for quite a long stretch, but after going on the road for 2 games after tomorrow night's game, 4 home games in a row next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Get out to one of those games. You never know what Kemba Walker's going to do next. You never know what Miles Bridges is going to do from throwing down dunks. He's just still showing that he can make that impact.
We got a back-to-back on Monday, too. So we'll go to OKC for Friday. We'll play in Atlanta on Sunday, and then Milwaukee comes back. We feel like we owe them after that opener, right?
Another top team in the East.
Yes.
Here at home. I mean, the schedule makers love us. They're letting us see what we can do.
Big stretch. 13 of 21, starting with Indiana, are going to be at home. And then after that, obviously, we'll get into that big road stretch. We'll have that big West Coast road trip in early January, which is going to be decisive as well. But yeah, now's the time, and I think this team knows that. They've got to establish a home court advantage. And Tony Parker was telling me after the Boston game, he said, man, how fun was that, right? He said, I want to see more of that from the crowd. I said, well, you guys keep bringing what you bring, the crowd's going to follow, so let's see if we can help them out.
All right, crowd, we need you here. Get here. And starting on Thanksgiving, before Black Friday, there's going to be a Black Friday offer on Hornets.com. You can get no fees on all of your tickets. That's pretty big because some of these tickets for bigger games are a little more expensive. Saving yourself money on those fees, a big thing. Make sure you fans get out there, get your tickets. We want to see you here. We're looking forward to seeing all of you out here at the Hive as the Hornets continue to roll. For head coach James Borrego, for Chris Kroger, I'm Matt Ruczynski for Hornets.com.